Let's take a few minutes to talk about burnout. We'll talk about why burnout is actually misalignment, not overwork. If you think you're burned out because you work too hard, you're missing the real cause. Burnout doesn't come from effort. Burnout comes from misalignment. Let me show you the deeper truth. Welcome back. I am Dr. Sherman Rivers, and today we're going to reframe burnout completely. Not as exhaustion, not as a lack of discipline, not as weakness, but as a symptom of energetic misalignment. And this understanding will change the way you work, create, and recover forever. Let's go ahead and get into it. First up, burnout isn't working too hard. It's working against yourself. You don't burn out because of long hours or effort or ambition, passion, or even commitment. Plenty of creators work long hours without burning out. You burn out when you're forcing yourself into actions, identities, or expectations that contradict your inner alignment. Burnout equals internal contradiction. Burnout is what happens when your energy keeps saying no, but your mind keeps saying go. See, misalignment creates emotional and energetic drain. Burnout happens when you're creating from fear, or you're forcing inspiration, or you're chasing validation, trying to prove yourself, or you're working from anxiety. You're suppressing your truth. You're ignoring your intuition, or you're performing instead of expressing. Misalignment drains your energy because you're operating from a false identity. The exhaustion you feel is the cost of self-abandonment. We have to understand that overwork doesn't burn you out. Resistance does. You can work extremely hard when your energy is aligned. But if you're working from resistance, thinking things like I have to, or I should, or I need to impress them, or I can't mess this up, I'm falling behind. The emotional resistance creates friction. Friction creates tension. Tension creates exhaustion. So it's the resistance, not effort, that burns you out. And burnout is a message, not a failure. Burnout is your system saying we're out of alignment. We're operating from fear. We have abandoned our true creative state. We're forcing what should be flowing, or we are ignoring what our energy is asking for. Burnout is not the problem. Burnout is the signal pointing to the problem. It's protective. It's not punishment. Burnout happens when you're not being the real you. Think about the times you felt burned out. Were you trying to impress people? Were you trying to meet some unrealistic expectations? Were you performing instead of expressing? Were you creating from anxiety instead of alignment? Were you ignoring your intuitive yes or no? Or were you doubting your own voice? Burnout is the symptom. Identity misalignment is the cause. You can't sustain a version of you that isn't actually you. So let's talk about how we can heal burnout through realignment. Burnout doesn't require rest alone. Rest without realignment only resets the cycle. In order to recover the right way, we have to first stop forcing ourselves. Force is the enemy of flow. And then we have to reconnect with our true identity. We have to ask that question, who am I being right now, and who do I actually want to be? Once we've done that, we can release the outcome pressure. That pressure drains our frequency. Then we got to get back to creative play. Play restores that natural creative energy. And as always, we have to regulate our nervous system. Safety will reopen that creative channel. And then last, let your energy lead, not your fear. Aligned energy leads to effortless momentum. Burnout dissolves in the presence of alignment. So think about this. Burnout is not a sign that you're weak or that you're pushing too hard. Burnout is a sign that you're pushing in the wrong direction. When you restore alignment, mentally, emotionally, energetically, and creatively, your vitality returns, your inspiration returns, your flow returns. Burnout isn't the end, it's the invitation back to your true creative self. Next in this micro series, we're going to talk about how to tune your energy before you create.